So we talked about the possible URL exodus last week. What was that? That was, who was that? That was, I can't even remember. We've talked about Av. Um, what was last week's? Murmurings. Excuse me, that I can't remember now. We talked about Nitty before, saying you might not see me on URL for a while. And now Miss Hustle has come out, and this is not linked to URL. She has not said this is URL. I'm just sort of tying potentially two topics or looking at the wider playing field of what these battle rap superstars are saying. But she has come out and said that she's blackballed. Thank you. She's come out and said that she's blackballed. Now, Miss Hustle has a lot going on. We haven't seen her on the URL stage in a minute. Have we? What was it? Can't have been Verb. Was that the last time? Was it Coffee? When was the last time we saw Hustle? I should have checked that. But it's been a minute. We know she's been since Coffee. Thank you, Doc. We know she's battled on the Remy Ma card. Remy Ma, obviously, very close. Excuse me, choked on my tea there. We know Miss Hustle, close friend of Remy Ma. Remy Ma, obviously come in the game now as a battle rap league owner. I think Miss Hustle has been on both of Remy's first two cards. Remy has more stuff coming up. Hasn't made official announcements yet. It's a possibility Hustle will be involved. She supported EFB on Summer Madness. Yeah, she was definitely up there on the stage. Just we haven't seen her battling for a while. But she is having great success with her music. Salute Tajkor. Thank you for the prop. She is having success with her music. She's got a potential death row signing deal, something coming up. Just dropped a dope new single with a fellow Harlem female, and seems like she's got another one coming up. So the lovely Miss Hustle jumped on Twitter and had this really cool interaction with Maliibu Miitch, who saw, I don't know how this came, salute, don't know how this came up, but she saw a Hustle freestyle, retweeted it and said, man, listen, Miss Hustle's been running Harlem for years. She's the hardest coming out of that MF. Listen to her bars, tone and voice, and popped up all the, there's me being selfish again. Oh no, I really thought, and look at what I did as well. I was showing you the lovely Miss Hustle alongside Maliibu Miitch. This is just taken from their latest tweets. They've been interacting on the timeline. So yeah, Miss Maliibu Miitch shared a freestyle of Miss Hustle's. Miss Hustle says thanks for the props, gives her even more love, says she's the queen of MFing Harlem. More loves, more emojis, all the heart eyes and googly faces and stuff. No, my phone is about to die. Like, where are you going? What are you doing? Like, very quickly, look. Why does my son always want to be the star of the show? All the heart eyes and girly love. We really rap over here, Hustle tells her, when Maliibu Miitch shares some lyrics. And then someone suggests that Miss Hustle, the Maliibu Miitch, should feature on the remix of Miss Hustle's recent single, Let's Get It. And Hustle says she's sending it now. Then the day after, they're up on the phone for 3 hours together. Always knew, especially from her rhymes, that she was a boss ass real B, but speaking to her just confirmed it. Love you, keep shining, all your talent needs to be heard. Miss Hustle shares all that love back and says, can't wait till the world see what we've got planned. And then she says, God did. So, we know Miss Hustle is making big moves in the industry, kind of, burgeoning into the mainstream. Mentioned her death row situation coming up. Snoop is always posting her on his page as Death Row Hustle. Now a potential collab with Maliibu Miitch. So yeah, doing really cool things outside of battle rap. But inside of battle rap, she says, trying to blackball me is crazy. That's crazy. Me, Miss Hustle. Now, who could she potentially be talking about? Somebody who hopped on that tweet and replied and was Av. He says, tell me about it, sis. Shake my head. Like I said, we've talked about Av and his gripes with URL. We'll get to that again later down. And then she says, it's nasty, bro. And he says, yeah, but the show must go on, sis. Ain't nobody gonna stop you or break you. That show must go on. That's relevant. I talked about that. I think I talked about that on here. I think I talked about it on VS, one of the two, but we talked about it. The show must go on, sis. That is relevant. It's something that he has said since at least sort of the middle of September, when he's talking about his issues with the URL. This is kind of why I'm reading between the lines a little. Like I said, there have been some top tiers who are seemingly unhappy. We know this often happens though, right? Like when people aren't necessarily getting the battles they want or the bookings they want, not because they're not rated, they're not highly rated, or they're not bookable, or they're not worth the matchups they want, but just sometimes the stars aren't aligning and you're not being booked for whatever reason. We know that sometimes they come out and they make these tweets and it's kind of like, look, see, the people want to see me type thing, little temp track, little something to rile up the fans, to rile up potential ops, to just put it out there. I don't know if this is that, but like I say, with Av, that show must go on. He has tweeted that several times. Hollow on the 17th of September says, I wasn't taking a budget cut, so I'm not on the SM flyer. Now we know Nitty Smack talked about budget cuts around the time of Summer Madness. Rumours that, Nitty couldn't get on because of budget cuts, but then also, Beasley seemed to suggest Nitty couldn't get on because we couldn't make the matchup happen as much as we tried. But Av responds to those budget cuts with, well, I was on the Remy Chrome 23 card, so I'm not getting no major looks, lol. I guess shit happens. Like I said, the show must go on. So Av and Hollow is a battle that for years has been bubbling up and down, and it bubbled up again just before Summer Madness. A lot of fans wanted to see that. It looked as though it could have potentially been on that card, wasn't on there. And Av is saying, now this is not URL saying this is Av saying, I wasn't on Summer Madness because I was on the Rent Me card and I'm not getting any major looks. Coincidentally, Miss Hustle, who hasn't had any major looks for a while, and Rum Nitty, who said you won't see me on URL for a while, were also on the last, or at least the last two. The fellas certainly were on the last Chrome 23 card. And Av says that's why he's not on URL. 10 days later, the show must go on. Again, in response to someone else, but the show must go on. And then Rumnitty tweeted on the 28th of September, end of last month, I'm going to sit out until I get all the battles and bags I deserve. And Av says, I'm just trying to dip. The show must go on. So I think that's what we talked about last week. I'm just trying to dip. The show must go on. Yeah, we definitely talked about that on Verified Source. What is Av talking about? What is he referring to? Your guess is as good as mine. But you know, he has used this phrase repeatedly. Hey Diva, thank you very much for sharing the broadcast. I appreciate you. Now, what are we doing? Apologies. Av had also said that where is it? We'll get to it. So, new Av announcement came out and said, announced, or OSBL, Kel's League down in DMV, announced their homecoming card recently and just announced this battle today. Av versus Sheed happens. And Av says, the show must go on. We get the phrase brought back again. Dope battle. I really like that. Exciting to see how that turns out. I love that battle for Kells. That card is looking like a dope one. I'll do some talking on that. But I like that battle for Av. It's one that could have potentially, you know, both of them battle on URL. It's one that potentially could have gone down on URL at some point. So it's interesting that it's happening now on OSBL with the show must go on. Yeah, it could have been a sort of a type rookies type vet situation. Not strictly that, but you know, that sometimes you have those cards where you get a good few of those battles where it's the older gen. Not that Av is older gen, but you know, you've got Sheed just kind of breaking through into that roster, getting his name out there. Also tweeted this one, I'm still outside, he says. Now this is a is it bars and bricks, bars over, I'm not sure of the lead, bars over bricks, there we go, bars over bricks, bricks giving two. He is battling Rod, is it? I'm totally unfamiliar, but where is this? This is in I didn't even know where it is. Maybe it's a local card, I can't see. Center something I don't know, but yeah, he's outside. So this is two kind of smaller league, although you know I think Kells is establishing OSBL as one of those who gets the big names, who puts on big battles. Not so familiar with bars over bricks or his opponent over there, but you know, it's a smaller battle. No URL announcements. And he said, I assure you, I will make my rounds to multiple platforms in 2023. Time to make some of them flights you'll want to see happen one way or another. I said flights, didn't I? Fights. Time to make some of them fights. So the fights that you've been asking for, the matchups that people are saying Av should be having, he's going to make them happen one way or another. Right now, you know, he said he is not getting those battles on URL. He mentioned Summer Madness and the Chrome 23 battle being the reason why he's not on there, and he won't be getting any big looks for a minute. And he's saying next year, so in 2023, and we've still got the rest of this month and another 2 to go, but he's saying next year, I'll be making my rounds. These battles we just talked about are definitely this year. Homecoming is in October, and this one is in the fall, so I can't quite see the date. Oh, November 26th. Yeah, but next year he's saying I'm reaching all those sort of platforms. Then this caught my eye. Anwar tweeted, someone tell at Shark City Av I said, what's up? And then tell him come outside around about November 5th or so. As we know, Anwar is Nu Jerzey Twork's manager. Why would Anwar be telling Av to come outside November 5th or so? Unless, it just occurred to me, unless it's a bowling thing. I like to think there would be a bowling ball there somewhere. I like to think, because Anwar has definitely been calling people out, in a bowling sense recently. No one apparently wants smoke with, or he wants smoke with anyone who thinks they can defeat him in the bowling alley. So, I guess it's just occurred to me, it could be talking about that, but I doubt it. There would be a bowling pin, there would be something, there would be some sort of reference. Obviously, he manages Twork. Twork, we haven't seen for a little while. He was supposed to be on the New Orleans card against Jerry West, but at the absolute last minute, there was a family emergency, and he was in New Orleans and had to rush back home. Not long after that, like a week or two after that, I'm sure Beasley said that was one of the battles that would be rescheduled. They were talking about, so there was obviously that battle and Fonz and Danny Myers that should have gone down and didn't at the time. And they were talking about rescheduling them in October, but not on Summer Madness, where we got, did I say October? I meant September, excuse me. They would be rescheduled in September. Talked about a few cards that they had coming up in September, one of them being Summer Madness. Wasn't suggesting it was going to be on Summer Madness, but we haven't heard mention of that battle being rescheduled. Obviously, we got Danny and Fonz on Summer Madness, and again, no mention of Twork and Jerry West. Jerry West has been very quiet. We talked about him as well recently. But is there a situation, like what's going on with Twork? Why haven't we seen him? Why haven't we seen that battle rescheduled or another potential battle? We know he had some kind of ground to make up. Obviously, he'd had the choking situations, and this was sort of a battle to come back and prove himself. When he came back after a little spell away, he called out K-Shine. Like, he said he wanted K-Shine. K-Shine was top of the list. Huge buzz about that when it first happened. Nothing. Cricket sense. K-Shine has sort of talked about only battling people who deserve it and who have proved themselves. And he may have been more talking about Jack Boy Main, because of course Jack wanted that battle with K-Shine. But all these tangents to say we haven't seen Twork in a minute either. Now Av responds to Twork's Anwar's tweet and says, "You've got my number and obviously my Twitter handle. You tell me, chump, lol." So no more on that. But that, Anwar publicly tagging Av and saying, "What's up, November? Interesting. Come outside about November 5th or so." There is a URL card coming up on November 5th. Which is it actually? So one is, let me check, I've got a note here somewhere. We've got Traffic coming up in November. Why do I feel like Traffic is November 12th? And the Gotti Moot card is November 5th. Is that right? Someone tell me if you know. But yeah, Beasley announced 2 cards. Okay, yeah, so Traffic 5th. Traffic 5 is November the 12th. which means the other card is November the 5th. URL have also talked about coming back to New York, although they've got a Crucible coming up. I think that card was talked about being in Philly, actually. The November 5th card, Mook and Gotti. So, yeah. Is that what perhaps Armoire is hinting at? A Surf and Surf, a Twerk and Av battle on the 5th of November. Now, I said in the intro, this would be third time lucky. This would be third time lucky because it was first set up like on a volume a couple of years ago. What was it, volume 5 or something, or a good few years ago. And then it was supposed to go down on Royalty, the card URL had in conjunction with Queen of the Ring. Some interest for it kind of bubbled up around again this time last year, and then just sort of faded out again for various different reasons. Is that one we want to see? Av versus Nu Jerzey Twork, two very highly skilled opponents. I definitely want to see. We haven't seen Twork for some time, like I said, since he kind of, had those letdown battles. The Real Name Brandon won the tournament. There was a succession of poor performances, and the Jerry West battle after that, he went away for a while. The Jerry West battle was his sort of coming back and showing he can still, he's still motivated and he can still do amazing things. Let's see if we see it.